Hello, Yoga Assets family. So good to be here today and just share with you Zoom 3.0 with a few more things that I've learned along the way. We're 8 weeks plus into the quarantine, and this pandemic doesn't seem to be letting up. So I think we'll be here for a while. And we're all learning how to live in this new normal. So I just come up with a few things that I think are helpful in terms of how do we now monetize this? How do we turn this into something that we can use to make a living teaching yoga? And I think I've got some ideas for you. So before we get started, I just wanted to ask if you're watching this or live or the recording later, to just take 30 seconds and close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Because you probably came to this event busy, in the middle of other things. And so just bring yourself here and allow yourself to be present to this opportunity for sharing, for learning. Um, just kind of simplify, clean the space around you as much as you possibly can, and give yourself some time to absorb and just be open to some new ideas and open to the questions that you have that come up along the way. So I'm going to share the screen. And of course, I made a little PowerPoint. I'm always so proud of myself when I do this. Let's see. Okay, let's move some things out of the way. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so here we are, Zoom 3.0, an online marketing course specifically for yoga assets teachers. This will be posted on our alumni page so that you can access it there. And it will also be available to you on our YouTube channel, which I'm going to show you right now what you'll find there. And is that not a cool transition slide? Oh, I entertain myself. So when you get to the second slide of this presentation, there's a link here, the Yoga Assets Teacher Resources on YouTube. And if you click that, I just want you to see where it goes. There's a page specifically for you guys. And it's on our Yoga Assets page, but there's a playlist here. And on the playlist, there is recently uploaded the Yoga Assets Signature Vanilla class, because especially our new teachers, um, sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. I did. Resume share. All right, so apparently, I don't know if you got to see that or not. So just, I guess you'll have to take my word. But if you click on this link, it will take you to the YouTube page and you'll be able to see the vanilla class, Zoom 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, which is right here. So that's where you go to find out, to find this. All right, let's jump right into this with a slide of our amazing Yoga Assets cousin, Jen Mason. I use this picture because Jen is really a rock star in this field right now. She's really taken on this project of doing live meditations and kriyas from what she's learned in her training in India and bringing them into this space. So I just really want to acknowledge the way Jen has taken this on. She's also leading some of our yoga forward meditations. You are marketing first and foremost yourself. You are the product here. And I want you to keep that in mind, because it's easy, I think, for us to look at this world that we're living in now and say, oh my gosh, it's already saturated. There are already so many offerings. If I put mine out there, it will get lost. And I just want to say to you, your students love you. Your students want to practice with you. They've already created a relationship with you. And even though they could do a class online with Sean Korn and somebody in New York City and someone in Japan, you're their bread and butter. You are their meat and potatoes. You have a relationship. So Whatever you do, whatever you put out into the space, please let it have your signature on it, meaning your face. Put your face on your marketing materials and your name, and don't be shy about that. Don't be shy about putting yourself out there thinking that it's egotistical. I really had to get over that because the whole social media thing is so narcissistic, and it feels that way when we're putting our name and our products out there. It kind of feels like, look at me, look at me, look at me. But really, you guys know what we're selling, and we're selling life, and we're selling better life, and we're selling better quality of life. And so to get people in the door, you have to first and foremost sell your image, your name, yourself. So with that in mind, who cares about you? Like, who wants to see you? Who wants to practice with you? So first of all, your friends, right? Social friends and real friends. Especially now that we're so present on Zoom, your friends, literally from around the world, are now able to come to your classes. So keep that in mind. Who's moved away? Who just had a baby and they couldn't get into a studio prior to all of this? Who has an injury and they want to work out in the privacy of their home? Who is overweight and they've been embarrassed to come to a studio? Those are your students, your friends, social and real. Of course, your family. This is a great time to reach out to mom, grandma, sister, niece. My youngest sister is very much a homebody, and she has been in heaven doing my classes every morning. I am so impressed with her. She's on every single class I teach, and she's really never been a yoga or workout person, and this has been a really great new opportunity for her. So go down your list of family who would love to take your class. It's obvious those people who were taking your classes before shelter in place happened, you've got to figure out a way to reach them, get a hold of them, market to your students. They've already demonstrated that they love you and they want to take your class. Your yoga assets family really cares about you. And I feel like we are doing such a great job of supporting each other. On the Yoga Assets alumni page, I posted last week who's teaching classes out there. And I think we had a dozen of you drop your name and your offerings and your Zoom links in that thread. And what a great resource. Right now we have, let me think, probably 25 teachers in training, more than that, 30, 35 teachers in training, and they are scrambling to get their 10 classes in, and they really would love to take classes from Yoga Assets family. So market your stuff on that alumni page for sure. And last but not least, who cares about you? You know, really the world. Like the world is your oyster right now. There are no boundaries to who can show up to your classes. So in addition to selling you, I also think it's important that we sell the benefits. We tell people why they need yoga. And I put this list together top of head in 30 seconds. I literally just started thinking, like, what are some of the benefits of yoga? Improved mental health, um, relief from that monkey mind, less anxiety, a way to help with depression, sleep better, range of motion, strength, stability, balance, respiratory, self-awareness, body love, you know, taking care of our body, self-care, connection, immunity, mindset, migraines, Instagram photos. So use this list, pull one of these benefits off, or think of another one because there are 100 more, and sell the benefits. So rather than just, I'm doing a vinyasa flow class, we're really going to look at, you know, shoulder openers or whatever. Like, speak to a true benefit. Oh, we've been hunched over our devices. You need chest opening. You need shoulder stretches. All right. Um, and then I get one thing I wanted to add to that is don't be afraid to sell. You know, don't be afraid to sell what you're offering. So it's your name, it's your image, it's this benefit. We really need to we need to tell people what to do. Like right now, I honestly think in the middle of this whole situation that we're in, There's so much uncertainty. People are so like, we don't know if we're coming or going. Just tell me what to do. Tell me what button to push. Tell me how to get registered for your class. Tell me what time to show up. Give me a couple of reasons for that, and I'll do it. But we can't be confusing people. So we'll talk about that more. So here are some ideas for what you can be selling right now. And I kind of look at these like a funnel, like the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest things to get people in on are one, yoga classes, online yoga classes, meditations, and private sessions. Those seem to be probably the first two more than the third. A dime a dozen, put them out there. Those are kind of throwing out the big net to get in as many people as we can. Once we've started to build a little bit of a following, which I know you guys have, those that I'm seeing on here, I know you have some regular students that are following your classes now, um, start to offer private sessions. This Zoom platform is an incredible way to work with someone one-on-one, and maybe even more so than going into their home or having them leave their home and come to you. You really do have the ability here to get really up close and personal. And, Jennifer, can I get you to turn sideways? I'm not seeing your back really clearly. Oh, yeah, that's great. Now, can you tuck your tailbone a little bit? It feels like having this screen between us makes it, I don't know, maybe a little more professional. So I would really highly suggest looking into the possibility of private sessions. Let's talk about pricing in just a moment, what to charge. But then there's also semi-private sessions, and if two people split a private session, they could save some money, and you could make a little bit of more money. Small group sessions, even more so. To offer a private group to 4 or 5 or 6 people and limit the number of people in your class, promising personal attention, that's a really great business model as well. And then I also wanted to add on here workshops. Um, we've all been successful at doing workshops out in the real world in person. My business model is a 3-hour workshop for $29, and I try to put at least 10 people in that. So I make $300 or $100 an hour. Um, I'm used to getting 10 to 20 people signing up for a workshop like that. And to me, that's good compensation for my time. And so consider doing that online. I know you could find 10 people who want to learn more about um, low back pain or working out in your home, setting up the right space, chakras, sutras. I'm sure you've got a million ideas. Um, and again, I do have a lot of handouts and resources that I'm happy to share with you if you need some ideas and some help on a workshop. The last thing I want to suggest here is doing mini retreats, and that's very much like a workshop, but more retreat-ish in nature. I think Cynthia Wand is someone that you could really look to for someone who's really doing this well, offering not only classes, but just really special settings, really special themes, special opportunities for people to show up beyond just an asana practice. So just wanted to get the wheels turning around some of the things that you can be offering right now. So as with in real life, I believe that the way to, you've heard the marketing term, people do business with you because they know, like, and trust you. And right now, if you don't have a big audience, it's because you need to start where you are. You need to start finding a group of people who know you, who like what you're offering, and they trust you. And so for me, what that meant was giving some things away. So I took the whole month of April and I offered a bunch of free classes. And I used the Acuity registration platform, which meant that when people went to register for my classes, I captured their email address. I put them in my mailing list. We will talk about that. Um, but in giving away all those free classes, I think I built trust. I think I built appreciation and trust from my students so that in May, when I started asking for money and donations, people were much more willing to compensate me for my time, knowing that I had given a lot away for free. And I still have this library of classes banked over on YouTube that if someone can't make it to a live class, they can now jump over to YouTube and pull up a previous class. So I think that's really important that whatever you're doing right now, just start to give some things away, even if they're 5-minute flows, 10-minute meditations, a 2-minute reset before you go to bed. Start giving away these things for free, and that will help you build your audience. Okay, so setting it up. This is slightly repetitive from the last Zoom that we did, but I want to just I want to kind of go in a linear fashion with this. So this is the setup that I do. So the first thing you want to do is create your idea. Is this a class? Is it a workshop? And I want to put that on my web page. If you don't have a web page, I think it's important that you have a web page. So go to WordPress, and even if it's one page, just free, WordPress is free, and I'm happy to help with that as well. I think it's a place, I think you need a place where you can post a little bit more information about you and what you're offering. So that's set up there. The second piece that I feel like is really important is that you have an email marketing system. MailChimp is free. Constant Contact and MadMimi are fee-based. I use MadMimi and I love it because it's super easy. I'm sure you've all gotten emails from me through MadMimi. What you don't want to do is blind copy a bunch of people or just, CC a bunch of people. You want a real system that makes your emails look professional and that helps you store email addresses. So set up a simple web page and get yourself an email marketing system. MailChimp is free. That's probably the easiest inroads to doing this. Then I'm using a scheduling platform called Acuity, which really helps me with registrations. I got onto it accidentally when Zoom started losing security. People were worried about the security of Zoom. And so I went to Acuity to kind of interface and a middleman so that I didn't have to put Zoom links all over my social media. And now I am so glad I'm on Acuity. There is a free Acuity, but it's pretty limited in what you can do there. And so I think it's worth paying 15 bucks to have the pro version of Acuity. That helps you simplify your registrations and it helps you build your mailing list. I think we're going to answer some questions, some more technical questions about Acuity at the end of the call. I know Fur had some questions, so I think I'll wait just a moment to get into that until we see what those questions are. Okay, so then the next thing you would do is you would set up your space. You want to consider lighting, the camera that you're using, the sound in your space, which microphone you're using. And I think it's really helpful if you have a consistent look. So people immediately, when they see a video you've posted, they recognize you and they recognize your space. Okay, so you've got your idea, you've got it posted on your web page, you've got it linked up with your Acuity. How do you promote it? Obviously, social media. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok videos are all the rage right now. I'm not using TikTok too much other than to create things, but Facebook and Instagram are where I'm getting all of my traction right now. Stories and lives are getting a lot more attention than just pictures. So if you can just get on and do a really quick live or put a video into your story, those tend to get a lot more eyeballs on them. And then you've got your email now set up so you can shoot out an email campaign and tell the people who want to hear from you, because they've told you they want to hear from you, you're going to tell them what's going on. what you got coming up. So now you just tell them what to do. You make it easy. You create a simple registration process, a simple pricing structure. I'm experimenting right now with free or donation. You can decide if you want to do what I'm doing and offer the option, or if you want to just do free or just do donation. My thinking around that at this moment in time is there are a lot of people who are really struggling financially. And I am enjoying getting some revenue from my classes, but I have food on the table, and there are people who need the $5 more than I do. And so I've, in my language and my wording, I've just said, if you can afford $5 for this class, awesome. I graciously accept it. If you're struggling financially, please accept this class as my gift to you. And here's a code. So that's kind of how I dealt with the free or donation thing for the moment. Check with me next month and we'll see what's going on then. All right, I'm going through this super, super quick because I know that we can have time for questions afterwards, and this slide deck will live on. So now you're going to you're going to teach / film your offering. Now, all of the classes I'm teaching, they're Zoom, so they're live. I have people online, but I'm also recording them. So I'm also teaching them as in what we would call evergreen, realizing that someone else is going to be watching this at some other time, and there's value in that. So try to avoid things like this morning, oh, it's so beautiful here today, a lovely spring day. I mean, we're all saying those things, but if you can withhold those things and teach, once you hit record, if you can teach something a little bit more generic and less specific about where you are, what the weather's like, and the time of day, you'll have something that lives on, probably longer and speaks to a larger audience once it makes it over to YouTube or Vimeo, whatever you're using. So you've got the people, they showed up, you're getting ready to do your Zoom meeting. You're going to go to speaker view and pin your video, because that way you can see yourself mostly. I like to keep a little strip of people on the side of my screen so that I know that people are hearing me and following and that my sound didn't drop off. But you want to see yourself so that you can stay in frame and keep a good clear, borders of the picture. Check your lighting, get your camera set up, test your sound. I always do a quick sound check with one of the first people on to make sure the volume is right. And just, look around your space and make sure it's as clean and clear as possible. All right, so I know Cynthia had questions about this. So once you've recorded your video and you've ended the recording, Zoom sends you the link. Here's the what's next. So you are going to download your video to your computer. And I just put it right on my desktop. I like to edit. I like to edit out the front and the back side and make it a little more professional. So I am on a Mac, so I'm using iMovie. There are many easy pieces of editing software that I'm sure you can find. But iMovie is super, super simple. So I pull the raw video in. I've created a liability statement for the front, super easy, happy to give it to you. And I've created a title screen for the end, and I'll show you what those look like right here. So here's my simple waiver, and when you look at this slide deck, you are welcome to copy that word for word, or you might just go onto YouTube and do what I did, and I watched some videos and I took some wording mixed and matched from some other teachers that I thought sounded good. And then this is my end screen, just my name, my website. Thanks for flowing with me. Thanks for sweating with me. Thanks for writing with me, whatever you're doing. That's just the end screen. So on YouTube or wherever you post this, they can then find you. Where do you host it? I'm using YouTube. I've created a YouTube channel, and it's I've got a yoga assets channel, and I've also got a Denise Drews channel, and I use them for different reasons. Um, and then I've created playlists. So where you're finding my videos, the workout, the yoga classes is on the Denise Drews YouTube channel. The playlist is called Yoga Classes. And I think I have 20 or so on there right now. That has been easy for me to figure out. And I, again, happy to get on a call with any of you and help you figure out the details of hosting a video to your own YouTube channel. Vimeo is another platform that's a little more slick. I think it's prettier, but harder for people to find. And I found it to be challenging to post what I needed to on Vimeo, and I had to pay. I didn't want to pay. I don't have to pay on YouTube. So I just chose YouTube, but Vimeo is a nice option too. And then you can also embed your videos. Once you've loaded them to one of these two places, you have a URL link, and you can get an embed code, and you can place your videos on your own website, which is really nice. That helps people, that raises you in Google search if you have things like your own videos on your website. All right, charging for what you're doing. My suggestion is somewhere in the range for virtual classes. I feel like $5 to $10 a class is the sweet spot. More than $10 a class, I think what you'd want to do is limit your number of students and really give them personal attention, and maybe even give them some kind of a handout, a follow-up, a consultation, something else. If you're going to charge more than $10 a class, I think there has to be a little more value added. I'm experiencing that people will pay between $5 and $10 a class, and that seems like a good amount of money to most people. The other option is a donation. And what I find when I do donation only, that I get a few people who are incredibly generous, and they pay for the 20 or 30 people that don't make a donation. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of evens out to me if I'm charging for classes or asking for donation. My little science project over here is that I've been making about the same either way. Okay, so those are my suggestions. If you're doing a private session with someone, I think you can charge as much as $50 for an hour of your time. When I'm doing real live one-on-one sessions with people, I'm charging $80. So 50 to me sounds like a great deal and kind of worth it if you're here on the screen. So you might kind of, research that out and see what other teachers are charging for similar services. Okay, I'm just trying to. All right. I did want to show you guys here. I think I need to stop screen sharing and then share again to get over to Acuity. Maybe. Yep. Okay, there we go. So if you look at Acuity, this is the scheduling page that you see on Acuity. And I just wanted to show you, so if you scroll down, the menu's all over here on your left. Let's set up a new appointment type. So down here, appointment types. We're going to create a new type of group class. Let's do May Yoga. We'll just call it May Yoga. We're going to do a 60-minute class. Put that right there. So right here, you can decide what price you want to charge. If you decide you want to charge for your classes, that you would just drop your price in right there, 5, 10, whatever you want. I'm going to put this in the category. I've set up some categories, so this is going to go for mine in yoga classes. I'm going to find a picture on my computer that I like for this class. And then do I want it to be public or private? And then definitely mark the box that says this is a class or a group event, because Acuity is going to treat it differently depending on whether it's a session or a class. Okay, leave this box unchecked. Clients must sign up for all the times this is offered. You don't want to force people to sign up for every Monday. You want them to choose Mondays. Okay. Um, when you create your appointment type, it automatically is just going to pull up a little payment feature, the little $5 per class when they register. In order for you to take their money, you have to go to your settings and set up your PayPal, your ability to take money from them. And so it will allow you to interface with PayPal, Square, or Stripe. And I use all three of those. They're all fairly easy to set up. So you can choose one, or you can choose, it will allow you to do PayPal and one of the others, just to make it easier for people if they don't want to use PayPal. So you would want to set all that up first and then go list your class. Over here on the side where it says add-ons, let's see, it wants me to save that. Okay. Remind me to cancel that class so nobody comes to it. Over here on add-ons, I've created 2 add-ons. There's a $5 donation optional and a $10 donation optional. At this moment, I'm only listing $5 donation optional, and this is showing you all of the offerings that I'm accepting donations. Right? So if I want to go and edit that, I can select anything that I'm offering that I want it to say, have that donation button present on there. Okay. And then I could do 5 and 10 if I wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to leave that open just in case anybody has any more questions about that when I think we're almost through my slides. So Acuity and Zoom have a great relationship, and you can interface or integrate Zoom and Acuity. And that's under the settings called integration. And you would just select Zoom, and then when you set up a new class on Acuity, it automatically creates a link on Zoom. And that's really nice, so you don't have to always be building and importing your Zoom offerings. The downside to this is every class, so let's say I'm teaching Mondays and Wednesdays right now, every Monday has a different link, a brand new link, and every Wednesday has a different link. And the reason for that is if you want to charge people, you don't want to give them the same link to keep coming back to. You want them to buy a new registration. I'm finding this to be really frustrating for especially some of my older clients who just figured out Zoom, and they got that link and they were coming to classes, and then all of a sudden May hit and they can't, now they've signed up for 4 Mondays, but they can't sort out which link. And I'm finding this to be just slightly more complicated for people who aren't tech savvy. So keep that in mind, that that is something to weigh out with your audience. And if you choose to integrate Acuity and Zoom, you probably are going to have to do some coaching with some of your students on how they can find you, how they can find these classes. When I taught my classes this week, I probably had 10 people texting me, I can't get in, and they were so frustrated because they were using an old link. Okay, so I think this will be the most helpful thing of this session. So when you refer back to this slide deck, here's my workflow. These are the steps that I go through when I'm making an offering. Create your idea, schedule the meeting on Zoom, unless of course you're interfacing with Acuity, post it to your web page, schedule on Acuity, and then if you are interfacing with Zoom, you would skip that second line because Acuity will do it for you. Share the link in an email with your following, post to your social media channels. Remember to market the benefits and tell them what to do. Click here, press this. I want to see you, be with me. The words that I use all the time, join me. And that was really hard for me to say for a long time because it sounds bossy. And I started softening, like, I'd really love to see you. But I found when I just say, join me, and then I give the details, people just do. I think they tell them what to do. Track your registrations and your donations and thank people. And that is complicated because they come in through Messenger, they come in through, if people are Venmoing you, you have to create some kind of spreadsheet or system where you know what's coming in and you're able to make sure and thank your people for every donation. That's obviously kind of being in integrity with their money. Teach a great class, record and save and download to your computer, edit it, post it to YouTube video or Vimeo, and then share that link with your fans. Share it. Okay, that is all I have for you. That was fast and furious. So I'm just open to your questions and also to hearing like what's been working for you.
So I'll start.
Yeah.
Thank you, Denise. This was fantastic as usual. I'm always just like so blown away and inspired by the skill set and the professionalism and the next level you've got nailed down. So I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to share first, I think, just real quickly. So what's been working for me, because I've worked with you a little bit on this, is getting the idea, getting it on Zoom, getting the link, getting it posted. I think maybe, although I started 2 months ago doing both donation, suggested love donation, and a fee. And in the beginning, I was finding people to be way more generous than I had expected. The class price I have been asking, if they can afford it, is $15. The classes are an hour. I have not been offering anything additional. So what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks is that the classes are being less well attended. I'm still offering, the donation, the 15, but in the last week, I'm like, I almost want to, I don't know, it feels weird to go backwards to me, but I almost either want to like just do donation or bump it down to 10. But then I've been saying to myself, okay, well then you can't go back up. You got to keep it at 10. So I'm just wondering if I've already sort of like missed the boat of how you set it up, which was the first month pure donation or, just gift. And then that's one question, because I'm just feeling like in the last week, I just feel like my classes have been amazing. And I'm having 4 people. And it's like, I'm just interested in like, I just want to gather the people. So
Yeah.
curious about that.
Okay, let's just take that for a second, Cynthia,
okay.
and then we'll get to your another question as well. Because I do not have an answer for you, and you are so worth $15 a class if people have the means for that. And I really hear you. I'm not sure that I would advise you to go backwards either. And I've had the same experience as you. Last week, there was a big dip in attendance. And the weather's nicer outside. I know that's part of it. There are more offerings, but I really do think people maybe people kind of hit a wall of like, I'm over these online classes and I can get outside for a minute. I'm wondering if we just need to be patient with the offerings and maybe just change the language a little bit around it. Here's the price, and maybe a little more towards, first and foremost, I want to serve, I want people to be here. I don't know, I agree with you. I don't know that I would go backwards in price.
And I have gone over the verbiage, Denise, and I have done, and I think I did in the beginning too, but first and foremost, I'm here to support you no matter what. If this has impacted you financially, please receive these offerings. That's from my heart. Yes. And if you can, make a suggested love donation. this is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I do think I've tried to verbalize it that way. So I don't know. We'll have some patience and see kind of how that shakes out. One of the questions with the acuity. Okay, so this was a little bit confusing.
Wait, just one second. I
Sure.
think Jennifer had something on
I
that
was
too.
just gonna echo what Denise said, because my classes, I'm offering 2 a week. They've also dropped off this last week.
Okay.
And I'm also teaching through Salt Lake Power Yoga. We're doing probably half a dozen offerings a week. And our classes there dropped down this week. So I just think there's a lot of it having to do with the weather.
Yep.
And it's a little bit of kind of the February thing that happens in regular gyms in regular times, right? People in January are all stoked to go. And I think all of a sudden people found themselves inside and they're like, oh, but there's all these venues to work out from home. Cool, I'm gonna go for it. And I think they're sort of hitting that 2-month thing that we always see in a gym too, where it's like, oh yeah, it just, they begin to kind of look for a little bit of a change. And with the great weather, yay for them. They get to go outside, you know. But I think that, the value of yourself, you know this, is where you have set it. And I would not devalue and set back.
Yeah.
Like you said, going forward again is going to be difficult, if not impossible. And I just think stay with it and continue with the offerings that you have, because I do think that people will continue, you know.
No.
Maybe there's some change in wording. I don't really know,
Yeah,
but
thank you. And you know what's just occurred to me though, what I could add for the $15 to not go backwards is I could always offer them to one of my meditations. I have 12 meditation downloads.
there you go.
Offer them a meditation for that.
I love that. And here's one more suggestion that I heard another teacher make. We might be stepping into the territory of charging weekly instead of by the class. And that's an interesting concept is, you know, what if you charge $20 or $30, whatever, you know, $25, and I'm teaching 4 classes next week, come to any or all. And that might be really interesting instead of like class by class. I might even play with that in, you know, in June when I change things up. So that could be a thing as well. Now we're thinking like a studio, you know, a subscription or a membership.
I just did the Acuity webinar yesterday with Jana, was it Hicks maybe? A yoga teacher in Venice Beach. And of course this is all about Acuity, but her thing is she's like, well, I think maybe $5 a class or $20 for the week. And here's what I'm offering this week. I'm offering 2 different movement classes and a meditation class. And that's so, and that, I think, Denise, that's a great point. I think that's a great way for people to really see value. And you'll get some people, that way you'll get some people taking all the classes, know, pay $20, and you'll get others that mean to. That can only make it one.
I really think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's
how would that, how would that work with Acuity in scheduling? You said that it changes the link every. So do you know how that would work?
Yeah, let's see what, I watched that too. For what did she say? Did she create a product like this week's classes and it was just a flat fee and then all of the classes were the same link? That would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'm trying to look, I mean, I have all these pages of notes from all these different things. Let's see.
I would think, well, you know what you would do, JP, is you would not integrate your Acuity and your Facebook, your Zoom. And you would probably just use the same Zoom link for all of your classes that week. You would maybe go into Zoom and create your schedule for the week. No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And Walfer's looking that up. JP had mentioned. Okay. JP had mentioned that the Acuity free is not great if you're going to do more than one-on-ones. It's not great for group setting, right?
Yeah. And you would have to upgrade for that, which is probably worth it, but.
Yeah. And then you mentioned that your classes dropped off last week as well.
Yeah, and they are just for your donation. So, I mean, the attendance just went down. So it's not you ladies. It's everything
I'm
else.
glad to hear that. Really, that's good.
So here's the thing. I don't have this in my notes. I do still have her presentation on my computer. So I can go back in and look at that. If I find that information, I'm happy to share it with you guys.
Okay.
I just can't remember her saying how to do it. But the cool thing is also with Acuity is that on the client intake form, when they sign in and they give you not just their name, but their email, yay, you can also, there's a little place for notes. So you can actually put a liability form right there.
Yes.
A little waiver paragraph that by signing up for this class, so you don't have to attach it to a payment, right? Just by signing up for this class, I recognize that this is a physical activity with inherent risk, blah, blah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
I've done that with every single person that comes through my registration. They have to check that box. So that's smart. That's smart biz right there. Okay, Cynthia, what was your other question?
Well, it's kind of on this whole Acuity thing. And so I think kind of like you I probably could use just a sit down with you, Denise, on Acuity with just kind of some of these questions. But so you mentioned that the Zoom and the Acuity interface beautifully, but that it is frustrating that you have to, that people have to go in and sign up each time for a class because it's a different link.
Yeah.
And so when you're saying I need to maybe just coach my older people, if you're promoting it, you've got this on your website and they can go in and see it. I don't know. So there's that question. And then are there that many more benefits to Acuity to use it with these frustrating bits? Now that maybe, the Zoom thing is, I don't know, the security thing is seeming to be okay now. And people are, when they register through the advanced format on Zoom, you can capture their email.
Yeah. Yes, but that's what I did for that first month, and it was just a nightmare of manual data entry. So when I moved, so the advantages of Acuity is you capture the email, it automatically goes to your email client, and you can process payment here. So without this on Zoom, you're doing everything on Venmo, basically. Which is fine. I mean, that's a way to do it, and Venmo doesn't have a fee, so there's that advantage as well. But I guess I just feel like it's like any other studio. If I'm going to go take a class at Awaken in normal time, I'm going to go on and reserve and pay my money, and every single time. I'm not going to expect that I pay one time and it's just going to be easy from that point forward. I'm going to continue to reserve that spot. Okay. So it might just be training people to, it's so easy to share this. This is what I've been sharing, just that shortened version of my master link that goes right to the page of all my offerings. And if I can just get people to there, and you just in the habit that every Wednesday morning at 9:45, you've got to go here, you click, boom, you're in. Rather than just saving that Zoom link.
Okay.
It really, it's one more step for them, but I think that it's just something new that people have to get a hold of. And I really do like what First said. If we're not doing this, you don't have that waiver ability to, get people to sign your liability waiver. You don't have them go into your mailing list, and you don't have the ability to charge them right here at point of sale.
Okay.
So
yeah, those are all, good benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think there was one more thing, but it's left me for the moment. Like just in the last 2 weeks, I've almost been, when I go to post it on social media, it's the picture and whatever the practice is going to be. But it's almost like I just hesitate putting in the same information regarding if you can pay, if you can't pay, I'm here to offer, it's just like, I just feel like it's too long of an email and it's too much information.
Yeah, I agree. And so that's what, like this, say all that right here on your Acuity. You know, tell them what to do. Join me tomorrow night, 7:30, restorative. You're going to need a block and a data, bring a friend, whatever. Go here. And then say everything here. I agree with you. If you,
So
you know, people,
this is on Acuity, but this is on your website.
this is Acuity.
This is
This
Acuity.
is my,
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
this is my the main link. This is what everybody lands on when they end up at my Acuity, rather than doing individual links. So if I just did, let's say, virtual cycle, and I went there, now they're just going to see my cycle classes, right? And so you can't really say as well, this is still here as well, but I think you just want to get people to your main Acuity page, and then everything you need to say is right there, and all of your offerings are categorized right there. I feel like that's going to be the cleanest way to have people get in the habit of finding what you're offering.
So then when you go to post right now, Denise, for your classes for tomorrow, you do a post. Do you do a post on social media with just the theme and the link, and then they go right here?
Yep.
Okay.
I do that link right there, the general scheduling page on Acuity, and simplify that so that it's it's just cynthiawan.as.me, right? For Gilmore, as make a smaller change link name. You make it whatever you want.
Okay, so, but it's always going to be .as.me. That's
Yep. Acuityscheduling.me. That's their ending, and you put whatever you want right there.
okay.
And that people start to remember that, and that makes it super easy.
So when I post on social media, I am going to just, hey, Mother's Day yoga, restorative yoga practice tomorrow. Any questions? And I can put, I can blah, 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 right? But then I can just put my Jennifer.as.me. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you might even get it as small as FUR, F-U-R, for yoga. But yeah, choose your link, and then they'll just come to your main page. And then do you guys already have do you have categories built already? Okay. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? You probably do. Over here, appointment types. When you build a new class, it asks for a category. And so here are my categories: meditation, retreats, training, workouts, yoga classes. So you probably do, when you build a new product, when you build a new class, it asks you.
Well, you mean if we were already on Acuity, but if we haven't been on Acuity,
I thought you already were. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 categories. So
okay, great. Yeah. Easy.
Because I've got 2 types of classes right now. I just have 2 that I'm offering. Now, so I was kind of hoping that with Acuity, so it doesn't send out like an invitation to my email list. I have to go on each, a day or 2 before my class, and social media, make a little announcement, and then attach my link that'll take me to my Acuity page.
So when you have to keep pushing it, yes, you have to keep pushing it. But once people have registered, they get their confirmation email, and you get to set that up here in email settings, what you want that to look like. You put your, class or session or whatever. Right here where it says where, percent, location, percent, this is telling Acuity to create a Zoom link for this class.
Okay.
And when the first person signs up for that particular offering, a new Zoom link is created, and every person after them gets that same link.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Acuity telling Acuity what type. You put that in when you set up your class, the time, the duration, that all auto fills. So does the name, but you get to change, your heading. And then this is what people receive, and they'll get if what most people are doing is they're adding it to their calendar here when they get that email, and then their calendar reminds them.
Okay, because that's what I've run into with Zoom, because I have to put invitations for a Zoom class. I have had to go on every day that I went on today to invite people to my class tomorrow, and I have to put in my whole email list each time.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Manually. I mean, basically, they're already in my list, so I can just hit the first like 2 letters and they'll come up and I hit that and everything. But there are some who are getting repeat invitations, and I discovered that's because I'm inviting them off of Google Calendar, and some of them have Google Calendar, so they're getting invited by Google Calendar and by Zoom. And I guess I could try and find out who all those people are, because I don't want them inundated with stuff, but it's a pain to do it. It sounds like I'm going to have to kind of cross that for a while, because I can't just transfer my Zoom emails, which I can't have on there as a list apparently. I can't just transfer that to Acuity and have all those things entered. I need to invite them to now enter all of that stuff to Acuity. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I did. Yeah, that's definitely why I came to Acuity, because I was manually doing that. What you can do, it'll be a one-time job, is you go to your Zoom and you get all those email addresses and you put them in your email client. So are you using MailChimp?
No, I don't have an email thing.
Okay, this is going to change your life. You need to set up MailChimp because it's free. Go to MailChimp right now and start building your list. And you start it with all those people who have been in your Zoom classes.
Okay.
You're going to copy and paste, and you're just adding them, and now they are in your mailing list. Done, period. Set aside. Then you're going to do your Acuity, and you go to integrations over here. And see, I've integrated with my Mad Mimi. So just set up and you log into your mail client. Let's see, MailChimp is right here. Okay, so you just set up and you put in your passwords for your MailChimp, and it automatically, from that moment forward, everyone who signs up through your Acuity, you ask them, is it okay if can I add you to my mailing list? They say yes or no. If they say yes, they're in and you're done. And it's happy time.
And I can separate those mailing lists, those email lists into groups, like yoga group.
Yes, however you want. Yeah, yoga friends that drink wine with me, Salt Lake Power people, yoga assets people. Yeah, you can create however many separate lists inside MailChimp that you want.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll have to check. I will check that out. I don't know if I'll do it right after this, because my husband is lurking, waiting to drink champagne with me. I bought champagne for our 20th wedding anniversary last week, and we have
nice.
Okay.
Just real quickly, Denise, from what Fer was saying. So in Acuity, you go to that one place on Acuity, and it creates a Zoom link for you to send out to them. Yes. But then, meanwhile, have I not been over there in Zoom creating and scheduling that class in Zoom?
If you have something set up in Zoom and then you also integrate, you're going to have 2 meetings overlapping each other.
So I don't set up it. If I choose to go with Acuity, I set it up with Acuity. They create a Zoom link, and then I already know what they're going to set up because I gave them the time, the day. Yep. But then when I hop over to my Zoom and I look at meetings, am I going to see that over there?
Yep, you certainly are.
Okay.
Yep, and you're not
to Zoom and erase all of my meetings that I have set.
Yeah, you just delete, unless if you've got people registered for them, you'd maybe want to or wait until those meetings are done before you integrate with Acuity. But if I go over here, like this was automatically set up by Acuity.
Okay.
And it doesn't show up until the first person registers.
Oh, okay.
So you'll create your thing over on Acuity,
okay,
and you won't see it here until you get one person registered. and
Ooh,
then it's set.
that's kind of like throwing up the hands on the roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's amazing. Like it's amazing that it just
Yeah.
happened. It auto populated, and I've checked them all, and I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty slick.
Okay. Okay.
Those two companies are working really well together. I think they're
Nice.
just really perfect partners. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. Just when I thought I was kind of getting it.
Don't think that.
I know, I know. So this morning I did this Mother's Day event, and it was very tricky because Jenna from Awaken, I brought the idea to her. She's like, great, let's do it. But then she wanted to charge people through Awaken, but I wanted control of creating the Zoom link because I wanted to have them register and I wanted all these things. So she let me do that, but it was just like, I was praying that like it would all come out good in the end. And it did, it was fine. But it was just like, I want to feel solid with what I'm doing moving forward. I want to feel confident and, with all these pieces. So,
well, as much as possible, because we're in an unsettled world. But for today, what I've just offered is what's working today, and I'll come back on in a month and update you guys on what I've learned since then. But for the time being, this seems to be working. I am struggling a little bit with that deal of people that were coming and they're getting frustrated, but so we'll work through that.
Yeah. And so, Denise, I just appreciate your extending the invitation of some private, if we have questions, because I still would, I'm going to have to do a lot of work over here on Acuity, in the beginning, just creating some time towards that. And my Mad Mimi, that's all got to be happening now. And so with like the waiver and like, there may be some questions there, but
what I would say, Cynthia, is before we get on the phone together, up here at the top of Acuity, when you sign up, show walkthrough, they've got really great, simple, concise tutorials on Acuity. I found them to be very, very helpful to get the basics set up, and I would just pause. I'd go do what they said, and I'd come back. So I would watch a few of those things and kind of get your structure done, and then come to me with some questions and troubleshooting.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
This has been so helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, good. You're so welcome. I want you guys to succeed and to, do good in the world and get paid for it.
Thank you. Me too.
We all do, and the world needs more yoga. It's and this is so funny because this stuff can make me feel so stupid. And I know I'm not stupid, but there are times when I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to look at this anymore. I just can't even handle it.
Yeah.
And but I knew that we had this call coming today, and I was like, put out my invitation for tomorrow and everything. But I'm like, so now between tomorrow's class and my Wednesday class, I have a few days to get rid of what I have on Zoom so I can integrate Acuity to it. And then, and get MailChimp going, and then be able to send out, a blurb to people, and here's my, address. And so come to that, and that'll, so they can sign up on Acuity, and, but it's like,
and you know what?
Steps to follow.
Yeah. I would suggest also like a little bit of vulnerability and humility in our communication with our students right now. Of like, I so appreciate you being patient with me. I'm learning new tools. I'm not a technology person. There will be glitches along the way, but thank you for being with me on this road. Or, I think things like that go a long way. And I'm finding people, are really generous.
They don't know that they are on a ride with somebody who has barely drive. and it's nice. I'm like, hey, and if there's any of you, because I got some earbuds. And I have been struggling with them. They work sometimes. They work great with my phone, and they work sometimes with my computer.
Did you get the real deal? Did you get the Mac AirPods?
No, I got Jive, and I'm beginning to think that's why.
You do. Yeah. I sent mine back and I have the Apple AirPods now, and they are wonderful.
Cool. But, and then the other question, because last on Zoom 2.0, talked about music and using music on your computer, like through Spotify, while you're And so I did that. I had to ditch the AirPods because they were not working, but now we know why. But people said it still went in and out with my voice. Now, all I did was I'm just going to Spotify and playing in the background. I mean, you said something about sharing to Zoom.
Sharing screen.
Spotify. I don't know how to do that.
Excuse me.
Okay, so I will show you right now. What's happening is because your AirPods weren't working, the sound was coming out of your computer.
Right.
So you're using your computer as both a speaker and a microphone.
Okay.
And it gets confused. Zoom searches for voice first. And so when you talk, it mutes music.
So in order to use the music, then I need to use earpods.
Well, that's the best, but you can also do this. So share screen. Is this what you're doing? Share screen on your Zoom, the little bottom green box.
Bottom green. Oh, there it is. It's in the middle of mine. But
okay. Yeah, down at the bottom. Okay, bottom green. So if you click on share screen, a white window opens up. And at the top of that white window, if you click on advanced.
Oh. Well, window opened up, it said it's disabled for attendee screen. Yeah, so anyway.
Oh, okay, you know what? Multiple participants, let me just see. Okay, try that, see if that allowed you to share your screen now.
There it goes, okay.
Okay, all right, I had it disabled. Up at the top, advanced.
Ooh, advanced. Music or computer sound only.
That's the one you want, click that box.
Okay.
And then before you click the share button, go over to your music source, your Spotify,
Okay.
Get something playing, then come back here and hit share. And now the music comes to your students through Zoom instead of through your sound source.
Oh, perfect, fabulous.
It works really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, you just have to be careful that when you get to your Spotify that you turn the music way down. In Spotify. So go to the volume control inside Spotify and pull that music way, way, way down. Do a sound check with the student first to make sure it doesn't overpower your voice.
Yeah, see, I did that last week, and so she gave me feedback at the beginning, and then at the end she said, yeah, but it still seemed like it kind of went in and out. So I thought, oh, I've got to ask.
Yeah, so share that, and then you should be, that should be better.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's fun, fun. Did you remember, so the little thing on 2.0, when we get on our computer in the morning and you go up there to those.
Oh, yes, I used that. That was such a miracle. I mean, I've been sharing it with several people. I'm like, did you know that if you go up 3 lines up there?
It's such a simple thing, but it's so helpful when you're in the middle of a class.
My stepdaughter is
helpful.
Going, well, yeah, because she's
that
30.
has changed Julie Bush's life, because the whole time she's hosting all these videos, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I know. That's what I kept. I'm like, how annoying, and I leave my phone out of the room and all this stuff. And when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's been a thank you for that. Yeah, all these cool things.
That was actually shared with one of the husbands of one of my yoga students on one of the first classes I did online, and it happened. We were kind of waiting for the students to come on, and it happened, and I said, oh gosh, how am I gonna? And he goes, I know. He's like a techie guy, so he showed me. That was great.
So I just love that stuff, and that's one of the best reasons, I think, like Denise said, to be vulnerable, to open it out there, because as I'm talking, for weeks I've been trying to get the AirPods to work, and I've had people offering different suggestions. I'm just like, hey, I got the cheaper ones because I didn't know, and they work with my phone, but not working. They work sometimes with my computer. That's what's really frustrating. But I'm just like, if anybody knows, and I love it because, they either commiserate with me or they actually have something, useful to throw at me. So I am so open to just letting people know that I am just calling Yes.
Learning as we go. I want to toss one more suggestion out here because we all talked about how last week our classes were smaller. I have taught a couple of my classes to 1 and a couple of classes to 0 people.
Me too.
And what I would suggest is to not let it hurt your feelings. And if no one shows up, still teach. Record or use that time to record a bunch of little 5-minute sections or 10-minute. Use your time and then use that as a giveaway.
Yeah.
Use that as something on a YouTube or something that you post on Facebook later as just a tag to get people interested. That has made it feel better to me that even though somebody wasn't there, I still got to practice. I still filmed. I still put something in the can. I didn't walk away with my tail between my legs like, oh, nobody likes me. You can still use that time.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
Denise, I would maybe if there's time this week, like to just schedule the download, upload YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with that. So if you have time.
Yeah. Do you want to just shoot me a text when you get a moment and we'll figure out a time?
Because
I think I've got time this week.
Zoom is sending me something every day saying, and I know that I need to do this, but I got in the other night, got some of them downloaded and take it off soon, but I feel I just need a little bit of help on that.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
All right, you guys, thank you for taking time to make the world a better place, and let me know how I can continue to support you.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. Appreciate your support.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good to see you, Cynthia.
You too, Fur. Cheers. Cheers to your anniversary.
Cheers. Cheers. Happy
Should I ask
anniversary.
for that champagne right now, dang it.